I'll be back soon, fella.
You there! The Ivory Brigade has need of you. You look like you've got your wits about you. Care to make a bit of extra gold working for Leowin's Ivory Brigade? I've been asked by my captain to find someone who can handle themselves. We need help with a delicate situation. Deadly secrets, assassins, murder. Now apparently a counselor has gone missing. Between the war, bandits, and cultists, the Ivory Brigade is like the Nord that tries to plug a leaking cask of mead, only to realize he doesn't have enough fingers. Talk to my commander, Captain Rian Lior. You can find him just outside the city gates, trying to appease some of the nobles. Tell him I sent you, and he'll put you right to work.
You have my word. If the Counselor is in Leowin or the surrounding countryside, the Ivory Brigade will find her. You there! A moment of your time, please. You know, Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have my hands full at the moment? I'm sure a guard or one of my brigadines can assist you. Interesting. She arrived a short time ago with a tale straight out of a mystery novel. She said that Emperor Leovic's former steward had been murdered by the Dark Brotherhood, killed over some secret pertaining to the Longhouse Emperors. She apparently has been investigating this so-called Longhouse Emperor secret for a while now. She approached Counselor Leviticus with news of the murder, and evidence to suggest the rest of the Elder Council were in danger. Counselor Leviticus has kept her close, while the two of them try to make sense of this so-called secret. I have yet to be made privy to the details. With Jirik's disappearance, I'll send Everly to check places the Counselor... Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have... Why didn't you say so? Leowin's problems are legion, and now the Wood Elf Archer's predictions seem to be coming true. Damn these old Imperial secrets. Counselor Jirik has disappeared, and the Ivory Brigade is already spread too thin for my liking. The Wood Elf, Everly Sharparrow, she brought news that the Dark Brotherhood was targeting members of the Elder Council. All because of some secret of the Longhouse Emperors. We took her warning seriously, but Jirik refused Brigadine protection. With that guild of assassins, I'm not sure what to think. But Jirik is missing, and I don't have enough Brigadines at the ready to conduct a proper search. You look capable. So, care to earn some gold and help? Here, let me update your map. These are places Jirik visits during her daily routine. If something befell her, it happened somewhere along this path. Meanwhile, I have Everly Sharparrow checking locations in the city. Counselor Jirik was a member of the Imperial Elder Council, back when we still had an empire. Now her title is mostly ceremonial, but she continues to assist the legates by serving as an intermediary with the local nobility. Since the collapse of the Empire and the dissolution of the Elder Council, Leowin has become an independent city-state. Countess Caro sits on the throne, but the Chamber of Legates governs the city. I suppose the Countess is technically the highest authority in Leowin, but she leaves the administration of the city to the Chamber of Legates. Leviticus, another former council elder, leads this august body, along with Tebezako and Amhalu. Counselor Jirik is a creature of habit. Her daily routine is to stroll along the river and stop to read near a cave across the way. While Everly Sharparrow examines spots the Counselor frequents in the city, you should check these locations. On paper, Countess Caro rules Leowin, but in practice, the Chamber of Legates governs the city. Legates Tebezako and Amhalu, and Counselor Leviticus, they handle day-to-day tasks. Me? I'm commander of the Ivory Brigade, Leowin's militia. Indeed. Since the fall of the Empire, the Ivory Brigade had to redouble its efforts to replace the Imperial legions. We maintain active defenses in the north to keep the ongoing war at bay, but we have our hands full with refugees, bandits, and such. The Three Banners War. Let the alliances fight over the Ruby Throne as long as they leave us in peace. I just wish I had more soldiers to spare for this new threat that Everly Sharparrow brought to our attention. Interesting. She arrived as... Ah, then you must be the...
Over here. Rock Grove begs for your aid.
Counselor Jurek? Oh, pardon me. You're not the counselor. Apologies. I heard you stumbling about and thought it might be Counselor Jurek. Oh, no one important, I assure you. I'm simply one of the counselor's aides. I help her with paperwork mostly. Run errands, that sort of thing. She initially refused the captain's offer, but she received a letter that made her uneasy. Last I saw, she was headed back to the city by way of the Eastern Gate. But she never returned to her manor, so I came to look for her.
I refused to believe. But Farrell, Leviticus, I was attacked. An assassin. You must warn the others. The counselors. Leofix.
Counselor Jirik! Damn, we're too late! Damn it. Looks like we were both too late. It's just like I expected when we found that list with all the counselors' names on it. I hate being right when somebody dies. Glad to see you made it here, by the way. Did you happen to see who killed her? The mark of the Dark Brotherhood, just like Farrell Lupus. Remember I said I was going to find Leviticus? Well, I did. And turns out, he's the head of the city's Chamber of Legates. The secret of the Longhouse Emperors. It has something to do with the 4 ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon. I think they're Daedric weapons, but that's all we know so far. Remember, I was working for Farrell Lupus. He sent me to find that strange tome. Right, and we found that list with all the counselors' names on it. Farrell's too. The one that suggested they all knew something about the ambitions. Since Farrell was murdered, I figured the others were in danger too. Looks like I was right. Let me have your map. This is where Councillors Valeria and Sophis were last time I checked. Go warn them. Convince them the threat is real. Then meet me at Councillor Jirik's manor in the city. Maybe we can find something more about this secret. I'll get the city guards to come and gather the Councillor's body. She shouldn't just be left out here. Then I'll head to Councillor Jirik's manor. When you're done checking on Councillor Valeria and Councillor Sophis, meet me there. Like I said, it all started when I found that strange tome for Farrell Lupus, and Emperor Leovik's journal. It was in code, but I got it translated. Sent me to a few hidden Imperial caches where I learned that the Longhouse Emperors had a secret. Right, but it turned out I wasn't the only one trying to learn more about the ambitions. A group of cracked acorns called the Order of the Waking Flame. Fanatic Mehrunes Dagon cultists. Had to put arrows in more than one of those bastards. I guess someone hired them to eliminate everyone who knows about the secret. The question is, who? And I was told by a more or less friendly Dremora named Lyrinth that the fate of our world was at stake. So of course I want to figure this all out. So Farrell Lupus hired me to retrieve a book from a retreat once used by the Longhouse Emperors. He never told me what it was, and he died before I could ask. The book is weird. It has weird pages and weird markings, and I can't read a word of it. Not much. Farrell's partner said he planned to use it to make things right, but she didn't know how. And it's Daedric, I think. I will say, carrying it's kind of a burden. And I've been having strange dreams. But I don't want to talk about that. Oh, I'm still trying to make a name for myself. I was green as a blade of grass when we met in Orsinium. Now I've got a few more adventures under my belt. But I've never dealt with anything quite like this.
We weren't expecting visitors. Are you here to see the counselor? Are you here to speak with Counselor Sophis? I'm afraid my husband has taken our dog for a walk. Is there something I could help you with? Danger? What are you talking about? Does this have something to do with that letter? And who are you, by the way? Captain Rianne? I see. Well, if the Ivory Brigade sent you, my husband likes to walk our dog Chero along the tree line. Go on and find him. I'll wait here in case he returns. My husband, Valen, received a letter from an old friend this morning. Farrell Lupus, Emperor Leovic's steward. I could see that whatever was in that letter upset him, but he didn't want to discuss it, and I didn't. What's taking you so long? They should...
Valen! No! Oh, Valen! Oh, my love! What happened? I thought... You know, Valen acted strange after the letter from Farrell Lupus arrived. He didn't tell me what it said, and I never asked. Before he left today, he gave me a sealed scroll. Said to give it to Counselor Leviticus if anything. A scroll. Sealed and bearing my husband's stamp. Take it. Give it to Counselor Leviticus. I hope it helps catch whoever murdered me.
Stay alert. I have it on good authority that I'm in danger. Step back and state your business. I have every reason to believe that my life is in danger. If you so much as make a threatening gesture, the Brigandine will dismember you. I was beginning to suspect as much. Very well. Tell me everything that you have learned. Leave nothing out. Lupus, Emperor Leovic's old steward, and Jirik as well? Gods, they are targeting the Elder Council. Anything else? Tell me, the ambitions? I heard that term once before, years ago. I must go to Tidewater Cave. I have a cache hidden there, and I need to check my records. Meanwhile, possibly. I oversaw the Imperial Treasury, so my records deal with expenditures and collections. I have documents going as far back as Emperor Morikar, possibly even Durkarach, and I know I saw that term someplace. I will see what I can find. Extremely well. We were rivals as well as colleagues on the Elder Council. It was that way between all of the counselors, I suppose. Her death is a tragedy, however. I will miss her.
Did you hear that someone actually escaped from the lightless oubliette?
Oh, hey! Over here! I'm glad you're here. I've been searching all over, but I could use your help. This place is huge. Why do rich people need so many rooms? Oh, but Sophus is dead? Damn! Was it the Dark Brotherhood? What am I saying? Of course it was. I've torn this place apart, but so far I haven't found any... I knew you'd be a help, but I didn't expect you to just have the answer the moment you walked in. Good job! Councillor Jirik's bedroom is upstairs. Let's see if we can... hidden compartment? I love it! I mean, I hate that people have died, but... So, what did you find? Let me see that. That's a code, all right. Some of the other documents I found use something similar. You know, I'm really starting to hate all this secrecy surrounding the ambitions. I'm almost certain of it. And Councillor Leviticus knows my brother. We talked about him a bit when I arrived. If there isn't a qualified scribe nearby, I can send for my brother. Let's go to Leowyn Castle and talk to Leviticus. I can't help feeling that once we solve the secret of the Longhouse Emperors, we'll know how to stop the Dark Brotherhood from murdering any more of the counselors.
I need your report, mercenary. Word reached me that Councillor Jirik was murdered. What about Sophus and Valeria? And did you find definitive proof that the Dark Brotherhood is our cult? That's the Black Hand, symbol of the Dark Brotherhood. I wish Jirik and Sophus had allowed me to assign brigadines to protect them. At least Valeria, however reluctantly, agreed to a military escort. Did you and Everly uncover any other information? It appears that Councillor Leviticus's trust in the Wood Elf was not misplaced. Very well. You and Everly can head in and talk to the Councillor.
Captain Rian and the Ivory Brigade will deal with the Dark Brotherhood. We are perfectly safe in here.
Your damn empire, Leviticus. It no longer exists, but it still causes us trouble.
You must be the mercenary that Captain Rian told me about. And I see you're working with Everly Sharparrow. Good. Good. I assume you have something to report. I'm listening. Damn it all to oblivion and back. I should have taken Pharaoh Lupus more seriously when I received his letter. This is definitely the mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Anything else to add to this? Yes, that's the Longhouse Emperor's code. Only a handful of Imperial scribes can decipher it. I know one. Baragon. I'll send for him at once. Meanwhile, we must warn the remaining counselors on the list. Eivor, Valeria, Itinia. Very good. I've sent messages to Itinia and Vandacia already, as neither of them are currently within Leowin's jurisdiction. I need you to go to Fort Blueblood. Councillor Eivor has taken refuge there, but I'd prefer to have her here in my... Everything we do now must be swift if we are to get ahead of this. Go to Fort Blueblood and convince Councillor Eivor to return to the city. She'll be safer here than at the fort. Sadly, no. Whatever Leovic confided in Pharaoh Lupus and the others, whatever he ordered them to do, he kept it a complete secret from me. I suppose he assumed I wouldn't go along with anything illegal or Daedric. and he was... I was, but the Elder Council was made up of almost 24 counselors. According to the list Ivory Sharparrow brought me, only 7 counselors were privy to this secret. Make that 6. I have no idea why Leovic listed me among that group. Who knows what was going through Leovic's head when he wrote that entry in his journal. Varen and his rebels were literally pounding at the doors of the palace at the time. And Leovic wasn't totally in his right mind even before the rebellion. The Longhouse Emperors were Reachmen, who seized control of the Empire and ruled for some 40 years. Dukarach the Black Drake founded the ruling house. Morikar ascended to the throne after his father's death, and his son Leovic followed him. Leovic made a mistake. When he decided to declare Daedra worship as the law of the land, Duke Varen Aquilarios objected. He led a rebellion and personally dispatched Leovic in the Imperial throne room. Thus ended the Longhouse Emperor's reign. Unfortunately, no. Varen disappeared a few years later and the Empire collapsed. Now the so-called alliances are fighting over the scraps and Tamriel is in shambles. We're doing all we can just to keep Blackwood safe and secure. Eivor has always had an affinity for the Imperial military. When she received her letter of warning from Pharaoh Lupus, she sent word to me, told me she was going to the fort, that the soldiers would protect her. I fear she is badly mistaken. Only a token force of Brigadines guards Fort Blueblood. If the Dark Brotherhood is truly our enemy, I fear a lone assassin can bypass the fort's defenses with relative ease. Eivor would be better off here in the castle. Go and bring her back at once.
Fort Blueblood? That's to the east across the river. I'll meet you there. Look, Councillor Leviticus and Captain Rianne sent me. I need to see Councillor Abor now.
And what about my sister? She hasn't been seen since she took the Councillor her meal.
Councillor Abor was very clear about this. She doesn't want to be disturbed.
Hey, over here! I need some help. I don't know which of the 8 divines sent you this way, but I'm glad to see you. The name's Bastion. Be on your guard, friend. I was accosted by a dark elf. She went into the cave hours ago, but she might return it. The dark elf Tanare Vels. She's a traveler I met along the road. The cave is Deep Scorn Hollow. The entrance is over by the dock. I'm here to retrieve a fellow named Quistley Silvel. His family sent me to find him. I think he's in trouble. Untie me, please. The Silvels will pay well if you help me get Quistley out of whatever trouble he's in. And I could use someone to watch my back. Interested? Oh, and check the shack. I think Tanare dropped something during our struggle. Oh, thank you. Look around, would you? I'd like to examine whatever my attacker dropped. Did you find something? Here, a letter. I knew I saw something fall out of Tanare's satchel when she ambushed me. Why? This is a contract. Tanare Vels is bringing Quisley in to pay debts in Leowen. Damn it! I guess that explains why Tanare knocked me out and tied me up. Of course, that idiot Quisley would gamble away more than he had in his coin purse. He's done it before. Usually begs his parents for help, though. I ought to just let the Dark Elf have him, but it would be dishonorable. We better see if we can catch up to her. I'd like to leave her tied up and empty-handed when I drag Quisley out of here by his arrogant nose. Probably? Yes, I did. We were just idly talking on the road. It never occurred to me that someone else might be looking for that petulant brat. It's not the first time I've been asked to get Quisley out of trouble. I should try to hide it better, I suppose. We were raised together, more or less. Except he was the firstborn of a wealthy family, and I was the foundling they took in. Something which Quisley never quite let me forget. Well, it's the right thing to do. I mean, the Sylvels gave me shelter, educated me alongside Quisley, even hired a tutor for me when I showed some magical aptitude. I owe them. And if looking out for Quisley is how I pay them back, so be it. No, not that I noticed. She said to keep an eye out for smugglers along the coast, and departed soon after. She likely just hung back and followed me the rest of the way. Foolish of me. I should have been more alert. All the time. House Sylvel has interests in a dozen cities. I travel all over Tamriel, looking after their business. I'm a mage by training, but I spend my days dealing with contracts and cargoes. And chasing after Quisley. The Sylvels fostered me from the time I was small, seeing to my education and giving me a place in their home. As I grew older, Lord Sylvel employed me in the family business. What I want to do isn't important.
This is different for Quisley. He's not one for any sort of rough living, other than maybe going to gambling dens and taverns in the seedier parts of town.
Probably? Yes, I did. We were just idly talking on the road. It never occurred to me that someone else... No, not that I... All the time. The Sylvels fostered me from the time... I should try to hide it. Well, it's the right thing to do. First time I've had to look for Quisley in such a rustic location. Not his usual style. Quisley really got himself into it this time. The idiot! It looks like there's another... This is definitely not a smuggling operation. Look!
Keep your voice
They have
down.
captives!
Those lunatics will hear you. Over here. Let me out before these cultists kill me. I would not
Let
do
me
this
out
here.
too! There's a cult of
You
sickness in
value
these caves! They sacrifice... Thank you. We've been here for days. You should get out of here too, stranger. These people, the Unmakers, they're crazy. I think they're preparing to sacrifice people. Why would anyone want to do such a thing? I've met no one by that name, but that doesn't mean he isn't here somewhere. The only non-cultist I've seen in days was a dark elf who sneaked by a short time ago. She motioned for us to wait and left without a word. I should go. They're cultists, I think. They follow someone called the Daughter of Sithis, and they talk about sacrifices to the Unmaker. I was on the road to Gideon when they grabbed me. Can I go now?
Before we continue, let's talk a moment. Cultists? That explains some of the decoration in here. So much for the smuggler hypothesis. I didn't expect to have to fight through a nest of cultists to extract Quisley from this mess, but so be it. What's he gotten himself mixed up in now? What's there to know? They worship a god of death, darkness, and primordial chaos. Nothing good can come of that. Quisley's always getting into trouble, but it usually involves love or dice. He could be in real danger this time. Allowing Quisley to be dragged off to angry criminals is not much of an improvement. While Quisley might deserve it, I can't let Tanare Vels get him either. I want to try to grab one of these cultists and get some answers. It's a long story. Suffice it to say, I owe his family a great debt. Quisley and I were more or less raised together. The Sylvels count on me to watch out for him. That's what the Sylvels say when they need me to help him. But he's their son. I'm just someone they raised. Forgive me if I sound ungrateful. They took me in and made sure I was clothed, educated, trained. They didn't have to do that. I've lost count. He does as he pleases. Unfortunately, what pleases him seems to land him in hot water. Every time. This, though... How Quisley stumbled into a cult's clutches, I can only... I'm the son of Lord Martel Hallex, the traitor. I suppose the story's not well known outside of court circles. My father was one of High King Emmerich's most trusted advisors. But when I was only a toddler, he plotted to secretly murder Emmerich and appoint himself regent. Or so I'm told. He failed, of course. Others in my family were implicated in the plot. The High King stripped House Hallex of its titles and domains. My mother died of shame. I was far too young to have been a part of it, though, so the Sylvels took me in. Happened to Quisly.
I'm not really with them. Don't hurt me!
You there! Stop!
You'd better not lay a finger on me. You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Xanathar, give me patience.
What is the meaning of this intrusion? Who are you people? What do you think you're doing here? I warn you, I am favored by the daughter of Sithis. She will avenge every injury you... Quisly Sylvel? He belongs to Leleus now. She is the daughter of Sithis, and none dare defy her. Leave while you can. You're fools if you think you can save him from her. No! No! Quisly is Leleus's consort. You'll find them in the Fane of Scorn. I think the way there is back the way you came. Or maybe ahead. He's safe for now, though. They've got someone else to sacrifice today. Please, don't hurt me. They caught a dark elf sneaking around. Even now, she faces the death of the Crystal Fangs in the ritual room just ahead. But Leleus isn't there. She and her brother are in the Fane below. Your Quisly is with them, I think. We follow Sithis, Serpent of Chaos, Unmaker, Bringer of Endings. The daughter of Sithis claims this place has been sacred to the Unmaker for years uncounted. Only when all has been consumed in the jaws of the void can the world be reborn. War tears the Empire apart. Daedric sorcery scourges the land. Chaos reigns. In times such as these, what power is greater than chaos?
I don't believe him. I think he knows more than he says he does. The daughter of Sithis? The Fane of Scorn? I don't believe it. Quisly... Hardly. The only thing that interests Quisly is himself. Either these Sithis followers hid their true nature to lure him in, or he's so besotted with a woman that he doesn't realize he's in danger. Either way, I'd better get... I'm not sure I believe this sniveling cultist, but we shouldn't let anyone get sacrificed. Not even Tenare Vels. Let's split up. You keep going, in case he's telling the truth. I'll see if I can find out more about the daughter and the Fane.
Please. I know where a map of this place is. It's not far. Just, don't hit me.
Helpful of you. What else can you tell me?
Break these crystals! Please, they're killing me! Thank you, stranger. Let's talk somewhere safer. Those idiots. Ugh, my skin still feels like I've got 1,000 tiny spiders biting me. That was horrible. Oh, and thank you. I don't know what someone like you is doing here, but I won't argue with Providence. Ah, the dutiful and not terribly clever mage. I'll bet he's angry with me. I took care not to inflict any permanent damage on him, and I fully intended to set him free just as soon as I finish here. It's business, not personal. Then you understand my predicament. I need Sylvel if I want Lars Tull off my back, but it's not worth getting myself killed over. Help me get out of here and I'll help you. I got a look at a map, so I think I know where you can find him. Not much. Lars Tull suspected that Quisley was hiding out in a smuggler's cave on the coast. I thought I'd have to check them all. Then I ran into your friend, Bastion. I knew there was something off about the smuggler story, though. It didn't fit. He must be in deep, if Lars Tull is willing to write off what I owe to get his claws on Quisley. Too bad for him, but it's a chance for me to get out of a bad situation. Lars Tull makes a good living from other people's mistakes. I borrowed gold against imagined winnings, like every gambler ever. You ask a lot of questions. Not to be rude, but I'd really rather find Quisley and get out of here. These cultists already tried to sacrifice me once. I found notes left behind by some unfortunate scholar. He'd apparently come here to make a survey of the ruins. I hope he had the good sense to retreat when he found fresh evidence of occult presence. More likely, he came to a bad. I did. It's all the way down at the end of this maze, naturally. The scholar's notes hinted that it's an abandoned temple, once dedicated to Sithis. Well, good. I saw a rough map of this place before I got caught, so I think I know where to go. I'll keep out of your way if we run into more cultists. After that ritual, I'm no condition for a fight.
am. Dead end and a vampire in a cage. This isn't terribly helpful. There's got to be a way through. I know what I saw on the map. Maybe the map showed a passage that isn't here?
In fact,
I would have sworn the map I saw showed a passage here. Unless... could it be a hidden passage? I'll look around a bit. If he's been here long enough, he must have seen cultists coming or going through any hidden passages. But be careful with him. I don't trust vampires. Perhaps. But I'd rather not fight my way through half the cult to get to Quisley Silvel. If there's a passage here, it could save us quite a lot of trouble. Get in, get what you need.
Your comrade is correct. There's a hidden door. Your dark elf friend watches me with no small amount of suspicion. Perfectly understandable, but I'm not a slave to my hunger. Why are you wandering around Deepscorn Hollow anyway? The daughter of Sithis is fond of sacrificing strangers. I have heard the name. The daughter of Sithis herself has him. These miserable Sithis pretenders. I can show you the passage you seek. I'll consider it payback for the way they locked me up. They hid the switch for a secret door under that crate over there by the wall. Clever, if one is a child. I cannot believe I thought these weak-minded fools might have a genuine insight into the dark mysteries of Sithis. Lalace is a noble from Leyawen who made a game of dabbling in dark lore. As I understand it, she found this place and managed to wake a presence that had been sleeping here for ages. She surrendered to the darkness eagerly. I doubt that it cared. Fools and dilettantes bewitched by the daughter's powers. They believe she is the living embodiment of Sithis' dark will, servant of an ancient power. But the only power she serves is her own avarice and lust, like any greedy mortal.
Surprisingly helpful.
Wait, would you do me a favor in return?
I knew it. I never grow tired of being correct.
Perhaps before you rush off, you might unlock this cell? A favor in return for my showing you the switch? Let me again assure you, I am in control of my urges. I shall not harm you. I came here hoping the temple held answers about my condition. But the cultists discovered me as I fed upon an unwary noble from Gideon. The daughter of Sithis was intrigued, but when she realized I had not yet mastered my powers, she locked me away. Yes, that would be an elegant solution to my predicament. I'm afraid that I'm rather new to this state of being. I haven't figured out that trick yet. I'm still capable of gratitude, stranger. I just want to be free of this place. I came here expecting something quite different. Perhaps before you rush off, you might unlock this cell? A favor in return for my showing you the switch? I came here hoping that... Yes, that... I'm still capable of gratitude, stranger. I shall remember this.
This should take us right to the cult's hidden temple. Come on! Hold up a moment before we go on. I've been thinking. I stumbled headlong into a bad situation once already. I do try to learn from my mistakes. I've been thinking. There's a good chance we won't find Quisley Silvel alive. Nothing good. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it comes down to bringing Quisley in, or taking his place, but it's close. I really need to be free of Lars Tull. I barely persuaded him to give me this chance. This may sound ghoulish, but if Quisley is dead, I'd like his signet ring. It's big, gold, and set with rubies. If I bring it back to Last Tull, it will show that I held up my end of our bargain, and he would take it in payment of my debt. Someone's coming!
Oh, there you are. I'm afraid I wasted my time on that cultist. He knew nothing. Glad I caught up to you. Oh, you put the fear of the gods into our captive cultist. He was sobbing on the floor when I gave up and left. I did meet a surprisingly talkative vampire, though. He told me which way you went. And seriously, do not turn your back on Tanare. Our weepy friend told me that Quisley's quite taken with this daughter of Sithis. Figures. My guess is he told her his family is wealthy, so she's keeping him alive for ransom. We'll probably find them in the shrine they call the Fane of Scorn. She seems like the sort who expects the worst. I remain optimistic. I don't always get along with Quisley, but I don't want him to end up sacrificed by the cult. Or turned into some crime boss's object lesson, for that matter. Not at the cost of his life. I'll figure out something. I always do. But, just in case, warn Tanare that she'd better not try anything foolish when we get Quisley. She caught me off guard once. It won't happen again. You're not even going to apologize, are you?
I'm sorry?
Just keep your distance from Quisley. He's my responsibility.
Quisley! No use in a fight right now.
Go away.
Keep back.
I'll just... Oh dear. I'll get out of the way.
Arise, my brother. Kill these trespassers.
Grab Quisley before he runs off again. The little bastard.
How dare you? Lilise would never have hurt me. She said so.
She murders people. You idiot! You were probably next.
I'm not talking... You spoiled everything! You and that lumbering oaf my father insists on sending to make my life miserable, and whoever that dark elf is, barging in and ruining my life. Who do you people think you are? Well, that's just your opinion. Everybody here treated me as a guest of honor. And Lilise, the daughter of Sithis, chose me to be her consort. She told me that she'd give me the kiss of Sithis soon. Why would you ruin this for me? I can't believe they sent Bastion after me again. They treat me as if I were a wayward child. I am perfectly capable of managing my own affairs. I refuse to go. That is no concern... Wait. Did you say Lars Tull? Is that why the Dark Elf's here? I've seen her in his headquarters out here. I may owe him some gold. Claim me. I am not some sack of flour to be bargained over. Oh, very well. Bastian works for me, indirectly. I'll go with him. I can write a promissory note for the Dark Elf to deliver to her thug of a boss. He's a terrible person.
Bastian doesn't seem very fond of Quisley. I can't imagine why. We compared notes while you were talking with that simpering idiot. Bastian said he might have an idea that would solve things for both of us. Years ago, I lost everything trying to get my brother out of a fishy trading scheme. Lars Tull offered to help me. I'm still paying for it. It would be grand to be done with Lars Tull and to pull one over him at the same time. If Bastian's willing to work with me, and perhaps forget about the knocked out and tied up business, I think we might have room for a compromise.
Once we get Quisley out of here, I'm done. I've paid my debt to his family 3 times over. All right. I think I know how to sort this out. If Tanare is prepared to listen, that is, I'm willing to overlook the knock on the head to settle this. First, we need to get Quisley out of Blackwood. Tanare doesn't have anything personal against him. Well, no more than anyone else who meets him. But the criminals she'd bring Quisley to might kill him. I'll threaten to tell his parents about this whole affair unless he cooperates and goes straight back to Daggerfall. Quisley knows that Lord Sylvel can cut him off. It's the only threat that actually scares him. He would have to earn a living. I think we can all walk away from this. We ship Quisley home, secretly. Then we make sure that Tanare has something she can take back to Lars Tull. Thank you, friend. I think Lord Sylvel would agree that you've earned it. What do you think, Tanare? Are you willing to give it a try?
I'll need to bring Lars Tull proof of Quisley's demise.
What kind of proof would you need?
I'm clearly not dead!
If I bring Quisley's signet ring to Lars Tull, he'll believe me.
That's what I was thinking. I'll tell the Sylvels that Quisley sold the ring to pay his debt.
I'm right here!
That ring should work. It might even cover most of Quisley's debt.
What? My ring? I'm not giving you a damn thing! Bastian,
What's new?
Keep that woman away from me!
How can I help? Here you go. I'll make sure Quisley understands to stay away from Blackwood.
Thank you. This should clear my account with Lars Tull. And perhaps clear yours with this ingrate and his family too.
We should leave this place. I'll see Quisley on his way when he comes around. Did you need something?
Look, Councillor Leviticus and Captain Rianne sent me. I need to see Councillor Abor now.
And what about my sister? She hasn't been seen since she took the Councillor her meal.
Councillor Abor was very clear about this. She doesn't want to be disturbed. Oh, another mercenary. Is our Ivory Brigade so enfeebled that Captain Rianne must resort to hiring sellswords? Look, as I told the Wood Elf, Councillor Abor was quite insistent. She doesn't want to be disturbed. All right, enough. I can see when I'm being overruled. Very well. I give you permission to enter the watchtower. Councillor Abor's safety is now in your... Lurius? Oh, something about his sister. She's another servant here at the fort. Works in the kitchen, I believe. Apparently, she brought the Councillor her meal. He says she never returned, but the servants look for any opportunity to... The Councillor demanded we protect her. Said her life was in danger, but refused to give me any details. Imperial confidentiality, she insisted, above my station. I put her up in the watchtower and assigned a couple of brigadines to guard her.
Oh no! The Dark Brotherhood's calling card. Of course they tore out the pages and took them, just when we were so close to finding out more about the ambitions. Abor's meal is still warm. So what happened to the servant that delivered it? We have a door locked from the outside, a dead counselor, and a missing servant. Did the assassin take off with both the torn-out journal pages and the servant? Anyway, they not only murdered Abor, they probably know how to find the ambitions now. See that rope hanging from the top of the tower? Bet my bottom acorn that's how the assassin got in and out. But the missing servant... something about that is knocking on the back of my head. And why would the Dark Brotherhood take those pages? Maybe, but everything I've read about the Dark Brotherhood never suggested they would be interested in weapons of war, if that's even what the ambitions are. Damn it, we're loosing arrows in the dark here. Let's tell Commander...
So, will Counselor Eivor be returning with you to Leyawiin? Am I finally going to be able to get my fort? Murdered? Gods, keep your voice down. Do you want to start a panic? Tell me what you found in the watchtower. Let me see that. A black handprint. The sign of the Dark Brotherhood. But where is the servant, Talais? Is she involved in this fiasco? And how did she and the assassin get out of the watchtower? My brigadiers never left their post. Well, that explains some of it, but not all. We need to locate Talais. Since you're already involved and working for Captain Rian, I want you to quietly try to find Talais.
Your sister is fine. This one is certain.
Then where could she be? She would never neglect her duties.
Probably found a dark corner and someone to snuggle with. This one does that all the time. Pleasant days, visitors. How can this one assist you? Ah, Talais. She worries her brother so. She asked me where we kept the hot root flakes. Counselor Eivor sprinkles them on every dish. I told her they are in the pantry, but you...
All right, grab a broom and start sweeping.
What? No, that's Talais' job.
And do you see Talais anywhere? No. Then start sweeping.
Another new face in the fort? First Counselor Eivor, now you and that cute wood elf. Look, I'd love to chat, but Talais has wandered off and left me to handle her chore. She took the counselor her meal and hasn't returned. Did you check the watchtower? Eivor's a little old, but maybe Talais decided to improve her station, if you catch my meaning. Eivor reeks of fear. Maybe Talais finds that attractive. Well, she's been acting like a frightened guar since she arrived. Stays locked up in the watchtower. Only lets a single servant in at a time. And I hear she's been burning papers. Documents of some kind. She's scared out of her wits.
The servants come to the kitchen to mutter and gossip. This one will not have it. Misaba asks that you do not distract them overly long, as they are already in. That young woman, she has not returned from the watchtower, so her chores remain undone. And she took the pantry key with her when she went. It is no longer hanging on its hook. That is The pantry is in the cellar, but the door is around the side of the building. Talais mumbled something about how the counselor loves hot root flakes, grabbed the key and the tray of food and went off.
Before we check the pantry, let's talk. So, what did we learn? Counselor Eivor was frightened, but that's understandable. Interesting that she was burning documents. Her journal indicated that she knew more than the others. And Talais visited the pantry before heading to the watchtower. Couldn't hurt. And every mystery novel I ever read taught me you should always follow up on every clue, even the ones that seem insignificant. Let's check the pantry and see if she was looking for more than hot root flakes down there. They murdered Talais too! Why would the Dark Brotherhood murder... Oh no! We need to talk about this! Alright, I think I figured it out. The assassin followed Therese down here, murdered her, and took her place so they could gain access to the watchtower. Pretty clever, but they didn't have to kill her. Right. Very funny. Wait, you're serious? If you're part of this, if you've been trying to save your murdering friends... Ah! All right, we're going back to Leowin. You can walk on your own, or I can drag your dead body behind... Yeah, I've read that somewhere. But what about the calling cards? The Black Hand is definitely making a statement. Trying too hard to convince us that the Dark Brotherhood is behind the murders. All right, I can see your point. That doesn't change the fact that the remaining counselors are still in danger. We need to warn Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. Right. Report to Commander Orton on your way out. Tell him what happened. Then go check on Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. I need to return to Leowin and consult with Leviticus. But this, between you and I, it isn't over. Remember that. After you report to the Commander, make contact with Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. Valeria went to Tidewater Cave to get her records, and Vandacia works in the Gideon Courthouse. Cracked acorns! I suddenly had the weirdest feeling come over me. Yes. No, I don't know. We were talking about the counselors, Valeria and Vandacia. Suddenly I had a premonition. It was brief and disturbing and mildly unpleasant, like the dreams I've been having. But this is the first time while I was awake. Remember I told you about that strange book I found? The one with the Daedric writing that I can't read? I've been having bad dreams since I found it, and the dreams are becoming more frequent. This time it happened right while we were talking. It was just a flash, but it was accompanied by a feeling. I felt a sense of overwhelming evil, all tied up in the figure I saw in my mind. Like someone held a portrait in front of my face for just a moment and then pulled it away. It was one of the Waking Flame cultists, I think. Someone powerful, in command. A dark silhouette wrapped in a cloak. I'll never forget the feeling it invoked. It was like a wave of hopelessness. We can deal...
All right. You talked to the fort's servants and rummaged around in our pantry. What's the verdict? That's horrible. Are you sure? No. Of course you're sure. No one would lie about something like that. I'll tell her brother what happened and send someone to tend to her body. Gods, what a day this has been.
Let's keep our eyes open for a tavern where we can spend that. Let's hit the trail.
Striker!
I'm not afraid of you. Can I help you with something? Is there something I can...
The mercenary. A few moments later, and you would have found an empty cave. Your timing really is impeccable. We've already packed up my records, and we're about to head out. But what news of the other counselors? All three of them? That's disheartening news. Well, I'll take my records to Leowen. Perhaps between the two of us, Counselor Leviticus and I can ascertain what past incident has... Oh, just a lifetime of public service and bureaucracy. Mostly financial records, but also meeting notes, ledgers, those sorts of things. I oversaw budgets and finances, the collection of taxes, public works, and I kept immaculate records. That's good to hear. Emperor Leovic loved to hide things in coded documents. But what about Counselor Vendacia? Do we know if he's still safe in Gideon? Perfect. Remind him he's too old to play the hero, and I want to see him in Leowen Castle immediately, if not sooner. These brigadines will make sure I get...